New initiative has been launched to help Catholics spot a scam and avoid becoming victims. Teresa Payton, CEO of Fortalize Solutions and former White House Chief Information Officer, is spreading the initiative called Protecting the Faithful. The campaign is being actively rolled out in parishes across the country through bulletin announcements and the distribution of infographics, videos, and guides highlighting the red flags of a scam. Many of these scams come in the form of emails sent to parishioners that look to be from their pastor, asking them to donate to parish charities or ministries. Scammers are also targeting the fans of notable Catholic figures, including Catholic actor Jonathan Rumi. For more news with a Catholic perspective, visit EWTNnews.com. Take Two with Jerry and Debbie starts now.
There and welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. I'm Debbie Georgiani, and I do expect your call today because we're going to have this very interesting topic that I'm going to unveil, and you're going to bring all of your life's experience about this, because I'll tell you what, this thing is, it's a hot topic. It gets people's blood pressures going, and it just makes people either say they agree with it or they totally and completely have a problem with it. So the question today for Take Two family, are you ready? We're putting down the gadgets. Can you put down the gadgets? Are you able to put down the gadgets? How about if you're required to put down the gadgets? Oh, you'll see where I'm going with this. It's very interesting. But that's our topic today, all about being addicted to technology. You have your phone with you. You have your tablet with you. Any device you have, you are connected to the internet. You know how to reach anybody and any amount of information you possibly can. It's at your fingertips. It's right there. And you love that convenience. And it's very difficult when somebody says, could you please put down that phone or turn your phone off? Put it on vibrate. Put it in your pocket. Put it in your purse. We don't want to see your phones. So we're putting down the gadgets today. Actually, we're trying to learn how to do that. So if you can bring your experience, if you can bring your understanding, your wisdom, your knowledge, maybe you're a counselor or therapist, and people come to you and they say, I have a problem. I'm addicted to being on the internet. I can't stop it. I can't wait to get off of work and get right onto the internet. And I spend hours and hours just searching through things. So if you have some information that you can impart to us so it could help the rest of us, that would be great. So we're putting down the gadgets today, or trying to. And Vanessa is on the phones. She's waiting to answer your call at 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. Jerry Usher will be back tomorrow. You have me today. I have you. So please call in. I do need your advice on this and your help. I don't really have a big problem putting down the gadgets. I really don't. I'm not that addicted to them. But I do know people that literally sleep with their phones. And is that you? I mean, I don't want to you don't have to out yourself. You can give your confirmation name or a name that you wish that your parents had always called you. But I'd really want to know what's the reason that you do that? Like, what is your thought process behind that? First of all, it just sleeping next to one of these things that has all this, it's emitting all this radiation or whatever it's doing. It's probably not a healthy situation to be sleeping with it. I know people that actually do that. They put it right on their pillow and they go to sleep and they feel very content having their phone within reach. Is that you? Now, we've heard studies that says that's not healthy to do. It's not even healthy to have TV sets in your bedroom area. I've heard that as well. But we can talk about this from all angles. What I do need is for your participation. Now, I know we're just coming off of Independence Day weekend, and so many folks are coming back and getting back into the rhythm of life, and I get that. Please, we must keep the folks in Texas in our prayers. If you've been at all turning on the news and seeing what's happening with the with the floods and everything that's going on with all of the people that have perished, and it is just so sad. And the camp of those young Christian girls, I mean, it's so hard to watch, but we must keep them in prayer. And also, if there's anything we can do to help, please, take that opportunity so that you really feel like you have been there when others are in need and really feeling the loss. So just to let you know, I put that at the top of our prayer book. But today we had this planned earlier, so we're going to go on with our topic. So today is about putting down the gadgets. And so let me just introduce this, and this may light up the phones. A friend of mine, his pastor has now made it a rule that you are not allowed to bring the phones into Mass. You cannot bring him into church. And this is a Catholic priest in one of our dioceses in the country. And that was the rule. His rule is no phones at Mass at all. Not in your pocket, not in your purse. You got to leave them out in the car. Now, I don't know if you live in Arizona or anywhere where it's really, really hot. That's difficult to do unless you have a cooler, because those phones can be dangerous in your car, sitting there just roasting. So that's a rule that just came forth by a pastor who said he's done with these phones going off at Mass. Do you agree with that? Are you okay with that? What if maybe that's your parish? At where I go, that's not a rule. They do require at the beginning to turn down, put it on vibrate or turn off your phones. They do make that announcement before they start Mass. But how would you feel about that if somebody told you you're not allowed to enter into this building with your phone? Would you be okay with that? Here's the number, 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. I really do appreciate your phone call, your wisdom, your experience on this, because this is something we're all dealing with, and we do need to walk together and help each other, because we don't want it to be a near occasion of sin. So we definitely want to stay on the right path. If you don't have time because you're just getting settled back into life, coming back after the holiday weekend, then please, you can text us. You text the letters EWTN to 58177. You wait for our response, then you text us your first name and your brief question or comment about putting down the gadgets, and just know that message and data rates may apply. Yes, we're getting messages coming in. Everybody is praying for the fine folks in Texas, and for everybody that experienced the loss and the devastation. It's so hard to watch the news coverage, like I said, guys, but we do need to be aware of it, and we do need to help wherever we can, because that's who we are, right? As Christians, we walk with each other, we help each other, we carry each other's crosses, right? We really try to heal the body of Christ. So it's very important. Well, as the body of Christ, we're all struggling with these gadgets. So how do we handle it? Would you call in and tell us? 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. And I'll be right back. Stay with us.
EWTN, communicating the faith.
I want to thank EWTN for being on the air. I've been listening to EWTN for years.
I want to say thank you so much for your excellent ministry. I find your advice incredibly helpful, and everything you're doing for the family. I just can't even thank you enough. My husband and I listen to you all the time.
You guys do an amazing job. I really appreciate you, and I love listening to you in my car when I'm driving from job to job.
Major decisions can feel daunting. Do you feel lost and alone? Not sure what path to take? Life coaching may be the right option for you. Whether it's practicing accountability or creating a better plan that works in your life, we are here to serve with Christ always at the center. God's plan is always the best plan for us. We just may not be able to see it right now. Let us help at standtalltoday.com.
EWTN Religious Catalog has great summer reading for the whole family. Blessed Carlo Acutis, The Amazing Discovery of the Teenager in Heaven. If your child has ever wondered, how does someone become a saint? Then this is the book for them. It's one of many great summer reading suggestions for you from EWTN Religious Catalog. For more, visit EWTNRC.com today.
Okay, you guys are weighing in on this. Thank you so much. Putting down the gadgets, that's what we're talking about today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. I'm Debbie Georgiani, and I really do expect your call because what you have to say is important. There's souls that are listening to the show every single day. We have brand new listeners. In fact, we have a first-time caller coming in. Lucy's going to be first. So, Lucy, hang on. And it's so important that we share on this worldwide platform. I was talking about how it's important for us to actively live out being the body of Christ. And part of that is when one is hurting, we're all hurting, just like what's happening with Texas, right? We're all hurting. When one is rejoicing, we're all rejoicing. But also when we have these addictions and it affects the body of Christ, it affects all of us. You have to look at it from the bigger spiritual picture, and then you really get a better idea on how to really enter in as a Christian. So let's talk about it. You'll see where it goes with our spiritual lives. I do have an open phone line for you if you'd like to call in. Vanessa is waiting. 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. And Vanessa is just so wonderful to talk to. So please call her and say hello to her. And she'll put you on hold. You'll get to listen live and you'll slip right into the discussion. Lucy, don't go anywhere. I just want to share with our listeners, if you have the MyTuner app, you can listen to EWTN Radio's live stream. Open the MyTuner app and search EWTN. It's that simple, you guys. Okay, our first-time caller, Lucy from Spokane, Washington, on the EWTN app. Hi, Lucy. You're going to lead the discussion. Take it away.
Well, hello. Hello from Spokane.
Yeah, I love Spokane. Beautiful area of the country. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I just wanted to weigh in a little bit on the cell phones. I myself have, of course, a phone, and am on it quite a bit. I do try to put it away, set it in my bedroom, or just put it away for an hour or more every day. I challenge myself to do that. In fact, I'm trying to increase how long I put it away and not be on it. I did specifically want to call out that wonderful priest that you were talking about from the diocese somewhere in our country who made that rule of no phones during Mass. I think that is just fabulous. And the thing that just, I think about is, well, first of all, why do we need our phones during Mass? Why? We are there for the Eucharist. We are there to praise and worship our Lord, Jesus Christ. And the least we can do is put our phones away, leave them in the car. You mentioned Arizona being hot. I leave mine at home sometimes. Just leave it at home or I leave it in the car. So I think that should be a rule at all parishes, really. I think that would be a great rule. I see too many people on their phones and, texting or whatever during Mass. It's just terrible. Anyway, that's just my little bit of input.
Yeah, no, that's really good, Lucy. And thank you so much for being a first-time caller. I hope you call us again. Yeah. Now, I'm just for the sake of people listening and they're kind of processing what we're talking about, okay? I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm asking you this question. What happens if, like, let's go back to that pastor that you said, that wonderful pastor who put in that rule that there's no phones in the church, except the ushers apparently have phones in case of an emergency. So that's good. Okay, that's good. But what happens if you have a person who has to have their phone for some reason because they have a disability and they maybe are using their phone to read the readings or the missal, or have to partake in the mass, or they have a disability that they have to be attached to the phone, maybe with some kind of diabetes or something of that nature that can alert them, or they have a medical situation. What happens again? And like, I'll bring in Arizona. It has happened. It's rare. I will tell you, it's rare. But there's been phones that have kind of blown up in cars because it's too hot in the cars. And I know people would need to prepare and put it in a cooler or leave it at home, but a lot of people will forget to do that, and then they'll just leave it in their car, and the car heats up like an oven. So what do you do? What do you do about all that? Because unfortunately, the pastor, made that rule. So if something goes wrong, guess what's going to happen? People are going to get upset at the church, right?
I agree. I'm not. I at this point, I wouldn't be able to clearly say exactly what the solutions for all of those issues would be. I don't know. One thing came to mind. If the ushers have phones, or if there's a cell phone that's out in the gathering space or something, used for emergencies.
Right.
Possibly that number can be given out if there's an emergency and there's somebody there to answer that. Good question. I don't know. I think that is something that, the parishioner and the priest would have to get together and come up with something together as a solution.
Right. See, it's funny,
Lucy. You made very good points.
Yeah. Well, here's what's interesting. When my friend told me that his pastor did that, at first I was really excited. I really was. I was like, wow, that is so cool. A pastor really took that, bold stand and said, no way, no, we're not going to have phones during Mass, no interruption during Mass. Right. Then I started thinking like a mom thinks, with 7 steps down the road, Lucy, where you start thinking of all these things that could go wrong. And I'm thinking to myself, that's going to really put this pastor in a difficult position. If, God forbid, something were to go wrong, they're going to circle back and say, hey, it was you, Father, that caused it, because you're the one that told us we couldn't bring a phone into the church. And so I think we're in a difficult situation in this world right now, because although all these things sound good to go back to, the way it used to be, where things were calm and things were quiet and we didn't have all these interruptions, I think I don't know. What do you think? It kind of seems like, how do they say it? The horse is out of the barn. It's kind of too hard to put everything back again the way it was. What do you say?
Right. I agree. And again, I just think there are solutions. It's just, coming up with that solution for those people that absolutely need some way of, having people get in touch with them, or emergencies and whatnot.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. I know, but it sounds good. I give kudos to that pastor if he's listening right now. I mean, it is a very, he's very brave to do that. So, Lucy, you are you are awesome. Will you call us again, please?
Oh, thank you. Yes,
yeah.
I will.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day and have a beautiful week. Okay.
Yes, you too. God bless. Peace.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, Roy is up next in Northwest Kansas on Divine Mercy Radio. Hi, Roy. Welcome to the program. We're talking about gadgets today.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Roy. Well, actually, Roy, if you really want to know the truth, I'm a little bit under the weather, so my throat is killing me, and I got a headache and a little bit of a fever. But other than that, Roy, I'm doing great.
Other than that, you're doing fine.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought I'd call in real quick and agree with the priest that did that, because it doesn't hurt people to go an hour without their cell phones with them. And like my dad always told us, when we was growing up, and supporting they'll call back. And we had one phone in the house. And the people, they carry the phones everywhere for some medicinal purposes, like the earlier caller was talking about. I think they could probably get with priests and say, I'm hooked up to them on it, et cetera, and get some, and he would probably do that. But people, they get phone calls all the time, I do carry my phone with me all the time because I'm always by myself, and something happens, I need to, get help or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I do it. But I don't usually call them. But always, I wondered about was when people carry everybody on Earth, I think, over 7 years old, has got a cell phone, and you call people and they're not there. So I'm not sure about that.
Right.
Anyway, I'm all for leaving them at home. I leave mine at home during Mass.
You do.
And so I don't even have to worry about it because otherwise I'd probably forget to turn it off or something, and somebody would probably call me.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. We don't. My husband and I, we don't leave our phones at home, but we do bring a cooler in our car, and we leave them in the cooler. And because of that exact reason, I've had my phone go off and start ringing for no reason. And I was sure I powered it down. It's the oddest thing. So I don't want to take a chance. And I'm with you, Roy, on that. But Roy, how do you feel? I'm just curious. How do you feel when you were talking about little kids at 7 years old that have phones? I have seen little kids in strollers, Roy, actually like biting on the phone and teething on the phone. What do you think about that?
Yes, that's way too young. My granddaughters, I think my son, they have them for 12 years old. They got to get them. And even then, it just starts them on a deal of where they're all with their friends and stuff like that. And when I grew up, we had I'm not old, I'm too young to be old, but anyway, we used to get cut off after 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The phone company would do that. You get the little buzz and you had one more minute, they cut you off. And we were allowed to talk until we got cut off.
Right.
And I think that's enough for anybody, but they get on them cell phones and they're watching games or watching people or doing something that's addictive. And I've seen people that I come up to an intersection and they don't even see me. And so I slow down at every intersection for that reason. They're not paying any attention, and it's hurting, killing people.
Wow. Roy, I agree with you. But, since you're going to date yourself, I'm going to go ahead and date myself here by saying this. I remember the time when I was growing up, we had party lines. Do you remember that, Roy?
Just almost. We had them, but I was probably I was too young to even be on a phone, but I was probably about 6, 7 years old, but we had a party line, yes.
It's amazing. I know you used to listen to other people's conversations. It's so wrong, but it was so interesting.
Oh, yeah, something to do.
Something to do.
It's raining outside. We couldn't play.
Exactly. Well, Roy, God bless you. Thank you so much for weighing in on this topic. I think you lit up the phone line, so I think you got everybody going on this one. So this is good, Roy. God bless you and have a beautiful rest of your day.
Okay, you too. God bless you too.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, sir. That was such a cool call. Okay. One other thing I just wanted to share about electronics. We're getting a lot of calls coming in and messages coming in about people sleeping with their phones. And you know what? Why don't you call in and tell us what you feel about it? I shared how I thought it was a little bit odd and a little bit too addictive to do it because plus possibly it could be a health danger to you by sleeping so close to all these electronics all night long because your brain and your body is supposed to rejuvenate and relax and recharge and having all those things, those gadgets that are emitting all these waves, it's probably not a great thing. Okay, but let's hear what Patty has to say in North Dakota on our friends at Real Presence Radio. Hi, Patty.
Oh, hi. So I was just going to say that I think it's good if it's, you form a habit, like especially for kids when they're younger, you have like a charging station downstairs, like in the entryway or living room or whatever, and at like 9 o'clock or their bedtime, they have to charge their phone. So they have to put their phone on the charging station, go to bed, and in the morning when they get up, they can take it. And same with computers, tablets, things like that. And also the adults, like at 11 o'clock or whatever time they go to bed, put it on the charging table. And people sleep so much better because they don't have that in the back of their mind called the phone, and it might ring, and what are they missing? So it's just they get a habit of doing it as the kids get older.
Patty, I love that idea, having like a charging bank in some area of the home where everybody just plugs in their phones, they're done for the night, and then they pick them back up in the morning. I love that idea. That is a fabulous habit. In fact, I'm going to borrow that, Patty, if I can, because I'm a life coach. I think that is brilliant. And if you do it as a family and you get in that habit together, that's something that can continue on. I think that is really cool. As opposed, everybody usually has their own charger with them, right? Because they have it with their phone. And so they're plugging it in their bedrooms, or they're plugging it in somewhere in the house, and that's all around the place. But if everybody brings it together, it really is creating those good habits as a family. But what I love about it is it's kind of keeping the family accountable. Because if you don't see those phones come in, then you know that the person is keeping them on with them, and then so there may be a little too much screen time there. So that's very interesting, Patty. Any final comments? I love that. I think I'm going to process this some more and use that in one of my life coaching sessions. But Patty, any final comments?
Yeah, I also think it's a good idea not to have TVs in bedrooms, especially for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they can watch TV out where everybody else watches it. There doesn't need to be privacy with watching TV. And I just never let any of my kids have TV. I don't even have one in my room. I just,
Right.
There's a place for it.
Right. So the family's taking care of the family. Everybody's kind of watching each other, and I love that. Again, that's holding everybody accountable to the family values and the family rules. I love that. Patty, you're awesome. Thank you so much. You gave me some great ideas, and I'm sure that some of our Take Two family members are saying the same thing right now. I think they're going to go buy those charging banks. I just saw them on Amazon recently, actually. Very interesting. Okay, that was Patty from North Dakota. We're going to get to Peter from Phoenix next. So, Peter, you got to hang on because you hear that music. Michael McCall, our wonderful producer, is right on cue. And so we're going to take that quick pause. And when we come back, we've got Rich on social media. So please drop all your comments in the chats. Vanessa's on the phones. And there's a phone line open for you. And I'll be right back.
Want to be notified when Take Two with Jerry and Debbie goes live on Facebook? Follow EWTN Radio's Facebook page and click the bell icon to be notified.
The most original Catholic content is on EWTN Radio.
Human beings are God's greatest masterpiece. Every person is made in the image and likeness of God. But every saint, that is, every person who accepts God's invitation, his upward call to make them holy. And so every story presents us with a unique masterpiece that God is writing.
The Journey Home, tonight, 8 Eastern, on EWTN Radio and television.
Have you ever heard someone say the Catholic Church would be okay if it weren't for all the rituals? Why do people complain about the rituals in the Catholic Church? They don't complain about the rituals that fill the rest of their daily lives. They shake hands, they sign their names, they put candles on birthday cakes, they give each other flowers, they put on fancy weddings and somber funerals. Those are all rituals. They are symbols. They are simple ways of representing complex ideas. G.K. Chesterton says ritual is a need of the human soul. In fact, it's a need of the human body, like exercise. Destroy your impressive ceremony, and all you get in return is an unimpressive ceremony.
Spend more time with the Apostle of Common Sense. Visit chesterton.org for more information and go to EWTNRC.com to discover more books and programs written and inspired by G.K. Chesterton.
I'm Deacon Harold Burke-Sivers. Join me for Beacon of Truth today at 4 p.m. Eastern.
On the next Beacon of Truth, we're talking about purgatory and soulful Psalm 3.
Now back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
We're talking about putting down the gadgets today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Jerry will be back tomorrow. You have me today, and I have full phone lines plus. So you guys are awesome, and you got a lot of comments about this pastor that put down this new rule of no phones, no cell phones at Mass. So I can't wait to get to all these calls. Peter's going to be next in Phoenix, Arizona. But Peter, hold on. I wanted to do a congratulations. So big shout out. Congratulations going out to another great EWTN radio partner celebrating, listen to this, 10 years, drum roll, with us. WWGL 97.7 FM serves Steubenville, Ohio. Congratulations to everyone at Our Ladies Radio from your friends here at EWTN. Okay, I didn't have any sound effects, so you had to use your imagination. Okay, Peter's up next from the great state of Arizona. Sirius XM 130 is the way Peter's listening. Hi, Peter. Welcome.
Hey, Debbie. Good morning. I'm calling from Phoenix, our hometown, and just want to say real quick, I love catching your show. I usually catch a daily mass in the morning. It gets out about 9:10, 9:11, 9:12, and I always catch your show right when I get in the truck. So thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks, Peter. That is so awesome. So what do you think about all this?
Yeah, so I'm about 30 years old. So I grew up in a generation where social media and phones were just kicking off. But I was telling a friend this other day that we kind of know, we're 90s babies. We still know the old days. We still played outside. We don't have to have our phones, but we know how to use them. We're good at them. And I do have somewhat of spent a lot of time on social media to catch up with friends and family. And I follow some really nice Catholic pages on there. But I guess it's a balance, right? And that's where we have to watch ourselves and take an approach to that. Mm-hmm. Why am I getting preoccupied? What is the accuser trying to get me to do when I go down a rabbit hole of scrolling down videos for 45 minutes? I could be finding myself doing something a little more fruitful. I think it's all about balance. So what I started doing now is, and also I think we preoccupy ourselves with a lot of noise too. I like to put my music on in the car and stuff, but I take a hike or a walk in the evenings. Even still in the summer, I'm a little crazy. I like the heat. But what I like to do now is I leave my phone at home, and I have friends that know where I'm at. I tell them when I'm going on the hike in case anything happens. But I really just kind of spend that time with some meditation. I was hiking the other day, and it was a little cool here last week, and it was a little windy, and it was in a desert area, and it was sunny. It was a little warm, and I felt the wind. I just said, wow, what a miraculous moment to spend with the Holy Spirit. And I just really trying to unpreoccupy myself. All balance, right? So what do you think about that?
I think it's pretty awesome. I mean, you're staying in the moment, which I think is so powerful. When we can detach from these gadgets, when we can remove ourselves and stay in a place where we can take in our surroundings and we can really be in that present moment. I believe that's where you're really going to connect closely to God, and very much so, because the brain will oftentimes go to the past very fast and flip to the future and the worries. So it bounces back and forth. And you know how they say God is in the present moment. It's when we stay in that moment, we're engaging all of our senses in so many ways. And it is so powerful. It's a spiritual experience to be like that. That's why they say a lot of people who go hiking, like you're saying, you like the outdoors, you like the heat. People who go hiking, people who go out in nature, they do tend to be more of the type of personalities that can get into that present moment and just be in that environment, which is very healing on so many levels. So I've got more to say about this, Peter, but I just want to ask you this because I didn't know if you knew this, but we just found out, my husband and I just found out the hard way last week. Arizona just started and is now enforcing the no cell phone rule of Phoenix's actually, of you can't even look at your phone. You can't even pick it up. You can't do anything while you're driving. My husband got a ticket. He was not on his cell phone, but I felt so bad. He happened to just touch it and pick it up, and the motorcycle police officer got him and gave him a ticket. But were you aware of that Phoenix just started that?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I did hear that a while back. I do live in the city of Phoenix, so I usually pull. If I'm on the road, I pull over and call, or don't even text, because I did have a friend also get a ticket as well. But
you can't even touch it. It's very strict. Yeah.
No,
so
it's all about safety. So I think that's good.
Right. So go back to what I was saying about being in the present moment. Is that what you were trying to tap into for all of us?
I think so. I think just avoiding, we gotta have balance with it, right? But avoid being preoccupied. Avoid the noise, the constant noise.
Right.
And I like listening to music. There's nothing wrong with that. But when I go on the hike, I used to put my headphones in. And it felt like I was trying to entertain myself on the hike when I should be focusing on the hike and spending because I carry rosary with me. So that's why I swapped my headphones out for my rosary.
There you go. There you go. And you're spending it with God in nature. That is beautiful.
Absolutely. And like I said, when I feel the wind and the sun starts coming down, I think it's a really beautiful moment. I can connect with the Lord.
Awesome. Okay, so Peter, this is the mom in me, so please forgive me, but you have seen recently that we have a lot of news reports that people are going hiking in this heat and not taking enough water. So make sure.
Oh yeah.
Okay, make sure you grab that extra bottle of water. Okay.
Yes, definitely. Like a camel, I like to we prehydrate here. We drink a lot of water in Arizona.
There you go. There you go. Thank you, Peter.
Debbie.
Thank you. God bless you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you. That was a wonderful call from Peter from Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, we're going to move to New York, Buffalo, New York. Ron is listening on the Station of the Cross. Hi, Ron.
How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little bit under the weather, but I'm hanging in there. I'm enjoying this conversation. I'm learning a lot. How about you?
Oh, absolutely. And that's the reason why I called in.
Mm-hmm. So
I
tell
listen
us.
to your station all the time.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's from 7 o'clock in the morning until probably about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow, you should get an award for that, Ron.
No. I just completely, and I thank you guys for everything that you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
It's a wonderful station. But
bless your heart.
I know you got another bunch of callers. My first comment is when I go into church, I turn my phone off.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I'm not there to have my phone turned on or anything, and it's there to be with the Lord. Simple as that. So whoever calls me can wait. If there's an emergency, which has never happened, okay, thank God for that. But anyways, I always turn my phone off. As soon as I walk into church, I turn it off. So it doesn't buzz, it doesn't make any noise, it doesn't do anything.
Right.
And it has been getting hot up here in Buffalo, so no, I would not leave my phone in the car.
You wouldn't. Okay.
But anyways.
But Ron, let me ask you this question. Would you have a problem with the pastor making it a rule or because you wouldn't. Okay.
No. Mm-mm.
Interesting.
I'm a traditional Catholic.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I've gone to what I guess you call Nova Soto or however you want to, after 1962 when it changed. I've gone to both churches, and people have their phones on, which is very disturbing.
Yeah.
I hear it, and it's like, why isn't your phone off?
Right. So you do the responsible thing. You turn it off before you even get into church, into mass, into the places that you just know would be a disruption.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm there to worship the Lord, and that's all I want to do.
Right.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah. No, I agree with you, Ron. I will tell you though, like I said, I know people don't believe this, but it happened to me. My husband was a witness to it. I've turned off the phone before I've gone into church, and I know it was off, and it started ringing. It's the oddest thing. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know if there was a battery issue or something. I don't know what the deal was, but it was so embarrassing because I did the responsible thing and then it still went off. Has that ever happened to you, Ron?
The only time it's ever happened, with me, is if there's a child abduction.
And the alerts go off. The alerts go off, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only time, but it's never happened in church.
Wow. Well, you're lucky because it's mortifying. I'm telling you, I had the whole place looking at me. It wasn't a good experience at all.
Yeah.
You get very embarrassed very quickly. Ron, you are awesome. Thank you so much for gracing this conversation. Yes. Go ahead, sir.
I did have one other thing to say.
Sure.
As far as putting your phones down or your computers down and things like that, that's another thing I don't get. I mean, I'm 63. I'm a little bit older, but I'm not that old. I guess it's denial.
Stay young, Ron.
But,
Stay young.
Thing about it is that, all these computers and all that is nothing but, how do you phrase it? It determined from enjoying life. Being outside and things like that. I know people that, sit on their computer all day long and watch videos, play music, and I'm like, what are you doing? Let's go outside. Let's cook on a grill. Let's go play croquet, or, let's go play tennis, or let's go out and throw the football.
Yeah.
Oh, have you seen this lately? I don't care about that. I want to go outside and enjoy the day.
I love croquet. I have to tell you, croquet is beautiful. I mean, but it's coming back. Those games are coming back, like bocce and croquet and all these, bean toss things. They're all coming back, though, Ron, because I think people want to go back to the days when you can just relax and have fun.
Yeah. Yep. And, just one more comment. My children had to have a job before they even got a cell phone.
Wow.
They wanted a cell phone. I said, no, I'm not giving you a cell phone.
You got to work for it.
You have to get a job.
Yeah.
And then you'll have a cell phone.
Good for you, Ron.
So I was very adamant on how I did things. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who would probably disagree with what I have to say.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that, Ron. I think the pendulum's swinging. People are really getting back to the more traditional values for raising a family. I think you're onto something you were way ahead of it and keeping that in your family. That was smart. I think. Did your kids appreciate the way you parented?
They thought I was very mean.
Okay, well then forget what I just said. I'm just kidding.
My friends have it. It's like, well, yeah, I'm not their parent.
Right, right.
So,
Yeah.
but, yeah, and on the computer, it'd be a nice day, and the boys would be playing video games. It's like, oh, no, put that down. That's a reward. You do your homework, you do your chores, and you're limited to the amount of time they can do that.
I think that sounds like a responsible dad. I think I wouldn't have put that in the category of being mean. This sounds very responsible, and I like that actually. So, Ron, I think you're awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Everybody, God bless to everybody who's listening. And
thank you.
You have a great day, and that's it.
You too, sir. Call us again. Okay, thank you. We're going to move to Pennsylvania now. Rose is listening on Sirius XM 130. Hi, Rose. Hey, Rose, are you with us? Oh, Rose. Okay, we're going to ask Vanessa to pick up the phone for Rose to make sure we can get her back on. Let's move to Carol in Virginia on the EWTN app in the meantime. Hi, Carol.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call, Debbie. Unfortunately, I'm not really with the yes, I'm okay with not having the cell phone. I'm an older person. I'm 78 years old, handicapped, and I live by myself. But I don't live on the phone. What I do my life, and I don't have to be with my face in the phone all the time. When I go to church or I go out somewhere, what I do, I go into settings where it says sound, and I turn the sound off. And then I hit the vibrate, and I stick it in my purse, and I go to Mass. Nothing happens, but one time it did happen. I had a vibration. I was in the pew, and I looked down at my phone, and my granddaughter was in a car accident, and she was on her way in an ambulance to the hospital.
Oh, no.
So I carefully, quietly got myself out of the pew, not disturbing anyone, and left and met her at the hospital. And she was so grateful because everybody else was doing other things. She knows she can always call her grandma.
Right.
And grandma will be there.
Aww.
And it's I wouldn't have gotten the call in time if that would have been the case, if I wouldn't have had my phone.
Right. I
didn't know she was going to have an accident.
Right.
So the other thing, well, that's what I do. You know, when you turn the phone all the way down, the sound all the way down,
yeah,
it's not going to, you know, you can't pop off, you know, because there's no sound.
It's true.
And the vibrate.
Yeah. I want to ask you, though, real quickly, Carol, was your granddaughter okay, though, from that accident?
Yes, she was, but she was very scared and she was very hurt. So she stayed a week in the hospital.
Oh,
She wasn't, yeah. And then she had to go to physical therapy after that. So good old grandma. Anyway, but going to sleep at night, I won't sleep with my phone at my pillow. What I do is I don't turn the sound down at that time or put it on vibrate. I put it on the end table farthest away from my head.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
that's
that
smart.
way, if there's an emergency, I'll wake up and hear it, and I can respond.
Right.
I do it that way, but I'm not all the time. And if I go out to eat, go out with friends, I do the same thing as I do at church. Power it all the way down, the sound, to zero, as far down as you can get, and then put it on vibrate.
Right.
And then I can pick and choose. And in the car, I stick it on the little thing I've got at the drink cup holder.
Sure.
And that way I don't have to touch anything. It's sitting there, and if it goes off, I can look. Just, you know, when I get to a stoplight or something, if it's something important. And if I need to talk with somebody, I get off of the road, and then I take the call.
Right. So, Carol,
I'm very careful.
Right. And it sounds like you have a great system that works for you. And that's what I think is really, again, another responsible way to handle it. And so to me, that sounds great. I think where we were going with this topic is this idea that of such an addiction and the way it kind of traps us into being totally dependent on these gadgets. That's what we were kind of looking for. But these great ideas and tips and tools that we're getting from all of these calls, I think is helping all of us to get into a system similar to yours, that, you know, you're using the gadgets and you're using them wisely. I think it's wonderful. So, Carol, you're awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you. God bless you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Okay, real quickly, we got Rose back from Pennsylvania. We're going to get to Rose. I just wanted to share with our listeners that EWTN offers the Holy Sacrifice of the Mass from Our Lady of the Angels Chapel live every morning at 8 Eastern Time, and we can send you a link to the Mass every day. All you have to do is visit EWTN.com and click on subscribe. I get that link. I love it. And I do depend on that because I love that EWTN has us covered with Mass. Okay, Rose in Pennsylvania, we got you back on Sirius XM 130. Rose, take it away.
Hello, it's so nice to talk to you. I love listening to you and everyone on EWTN. I hope you feel better from your cold.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward. I signed up for the women's retreat in Malvern, Pennsylvania, so I'm looking forward to going to that at the end of July.
Beautiful. I'm sure Women of Grace and Johnette Williams will be so thrilled that you did that, Rose. So thank you. But tell us what you want to share about the car, and the phones. Mm-hmm.
So I was saying to Victoria about the priest. I would not feel comfortable leaving my phone at home if I was still taking care of my elderly parents, because when Carol mentioned the accident happened, I also like what Ron said about being responsible. I'm a child of the 80s. I remember looking for that payphone with not having enough quarters in an emergency and feeling scared, alone, and maybe like not feeling my best there. So I love using the cell phone, the tool, as you were saying, for what it's intended for, which is an emergency or to get help or turning it. I turn it on silent when I go to Mass as well,
Mm-hmm.
I have my family, I made them emergency contact, so God forbid if anything were to happen, it would just break through.
Right.
It was a for the priest. I was telling Victoria, I'm a teacher, so I heard some teachers do you put like a shoe, where you put your shoe pocket, maybe at the end of the pews for the priest, like the pockets if he wants to see them. But I think what the priest's intention is just to get the respect that everyone should give him, not take out a cell phone. I think he had to go scream and ask people to put it in their car when really it simply just started off the control, the self-control that my parents were very strict. As Ron was saying, he was a strict parent. My parents were extremely strict. I appreciate it. My brother has a different story. But anyway.
There's always one child that disagrees with the way they were parented. Okay, got it. Yeah, no, Rose, I agree with you. Everything you're saying about being responsible. And that's why I love that we had this discussion today with the Take Two family on how they felt about should the rules be put in place to tell us how to behave, or should we start to really show that we can be responsible and do things the right way? And it's sounding like, the consensus is we just need to, take care of ourselves in a responsible way and to do the right thing, that we're not being disruption or in any way or pulling away from the focus, which at Mass, obviously, we're all there to worship God, and we're there for the holy sacrifice of the Mass. So it's very important we stay focused. So I agree with you, Rose, but it's funny though, some people I think just aren't paying attention to what's going on around them. They're just in their own zone. They're in their own world. Things are happening, and they're not really, thinking about what's going on outside of them. And then maybe that's why we're having this discussion right now, which is really good and could help other souls today. So, Rose, thank you so much. And I'm sure you're going to absolutely get a life-changing experience from the retreat coming up. So that's wonderful. And God bless you for calling in and hanging in there on the line there so you can get on air with us. We appreciate it, Rose. I'm going to move quickly to Daniel in Boston, Massachusetts, also listening on the Station of the Cross, because Daniel, I think you get our Virtual Patience Award. You waited most of the show, so take it away.
Thank you. Hello,
go right
Debbie.
ahead. Yes, go right ahead.
Hello, Debbie. It's been a few years since I've called in. You might remember me talking about the exploding flash bulb at the Black Madonna Shrine in Poland.
Yes.
Anyway,
yes.
I have another accident story. I was at evening services maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and my phone vibrated. I was going to ignore it, and something told me I should answer it. I stepped out to a side room, and my son had been in a near-fatal motorcycle accident.
Oh.
So I dropped everything, drove the half hour to the emergency room. Praise God, he has recovered. He is now a truck driver on the lower 48 this summer season. Last winter, he was in Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, where it was minus 34 Fahrenheit Christmas Day, plus wind chill. And a couple of weeks ago, my phone vibrated again when I was in services, and it was him calling just to chat. But you know what? He's my only son. I think the Lord, who said to reconcile differences with someone before we place our offering on the altar, would not have objected. And so, if that pastor is listening, my message to him would be, he has the right to make a rule for his parish. I have a right to enter that building or not. And honestly, I hate to say this, but the days that I would submit to that type of authoritarianism are long over.
Wow, that was powerful testimony there. And I have to tell you, Daniel, there's a lot that are calling in and sending messages, and they're in agreement with you, actually. They're not thrilled with the idea of having it be a rule. And because of disabilities or emergencies or situations that could arise that where we would need to grab our phones. So, Daniel, thank you so much for weighing in on this. You'll hear the music. I wish we had longer to speak, but don't wait so long to call back again, Daniel. We'd love to hear from you again. Kathy in North Dakota, you sounds like you're in disagreement with the pastor as well. Art, first-time caller from Arizona, needs some advice about a grandchild being who is not baptized yet. Oh, Art, I would love to talk to you about this. You'll have to call back when we have a show that's more geared to that topic. But thank you, Art, for thinking of us as you're calling in. Kathy, another first-time caller, Columbus, Ohio, says she's been without a phone for 9 years, and it's possible to live without it. Wow, Kathy, that's amazing. You're definitely going to have to call back, maybe on Unscripted at the end of the month. Okay, that'll do it. Thank you to the show team. Thank you to the affiliates. Tomorrow we're going to talk about, do you feel appreciated? Ooh, that's going to be a good one. See you tomorrow.
Another great podcast on EWTN Podcast Central is the